Building a keyboard with both integrated tenting and reverse tilting is no joke. I mean, there's a reason why only one or two other split ergonomic keyboards have these components built in. And to be honest, none of them are very good because it's really, really hard.
That's what she said!
From the original concept and design to making it durable and stable, yet aesthetically pleasing, the entire process has taken us years. But despite numerous tilting episodes and pressing matters, we nailed it. And in this video, we'll show you how. Hello, you glorious sacks of sunshine. I'm Dominique. Since the birth of the Dygma race, we've had our hearts and minds set on giving our users the option to tent their keyboards. But why even bother adding tenting in the first place? Our goal at Dygma has always been to create the most ergonomic computer peripherals available. And when working with regular keyboards, your hands and wrists are placed in an irregular position when typing. Those who spend long hours in this position can potentially end up suffering from numerous postural issues or health conditions. No bueno. By typing on a tented keyboard, you allow the more natural hand and wrist position, increasing comfort and the overall ergonomics of your working setup. We do a deep dive about the history of tenting and its benefits in this video, so check that out later if you're interested. Heading into the realm of tenting keyboards, this wasn't our first merry-go-round. When we launched the original Dygma race back in 2017, we always promised follow-up components, such as an add-on tenting kit. Why didn't we integrate the tenting in the first place? Well, in the beginning, we didn't actually think people wanted tenting. Little did we know. And since the underglow took up all the space on the underside of the original race, we couldn't just easily integrate it. So after 6 different concepts, we finally reached the final design. And to great success. It sold like hotcakes. Our estimated 50 interested buyers turned out to be thousands. But this add-on tenting kit wasn't perfect. Because we couldn't integrate the tenting, it added 1 centimeter of height to the keyboard. And it was heavy too. Being that it was a metal plate that you had to attach, it weighed down the keyboard by an extra 500 grams. I know some of our customers like this because it made the keyboard feel more secure on the table. But let's be honest, it's a bit of a tank.
That's a tank!
Then of course, the angles were a little limited too. It only had 4 options: 10, 20, 30, and 40 degrees. We wanted more. So when it came to developing the next tenting solution, we knew it needed to be integrated into the keyboard. Additionally, we wanted to shoot for the moon and add reverse tilting, since this has been always an in-demand feature from the community. And so with these challenges in mind, we set the following goals. First, we wanted more tenting angles, up to 60 degrees, along with negative tilting angles. Second, it needed to be visually pleasing and integrated into the keyboard. Third, we wanted everything to be durable and stable, yet light. And fourth, which was our stretch goal, to have tenting and reverse tilting at the same time.
Both is good.
To put it bluntly, we wanted to make the best tenting kit out there. So back to the drawing board we went.
Check this out. Take a look at this! Jesus Christ!
Or should I say, back to the drawing book. Specifically, Jose's drawing book. Jose is our awesome product designer. We started by investigating the popular sliding concept. This concept worked by using a free-flowing slider that can be locked into place by using a clamp. We really liked this idea because essentially it allowed you to reach almost any angle of tenting. But the problem we had with this design was that the clamping was never strong enough to hold the keyboard, and it was difficult to find the correct position for the front and the back tenting leg. If you didn't choose the right angles, your keyboard would wobble. We explored other concepts like a sliding mechanism found in the tenting leg, which could then be inserted in a fixed position on the keyboard. The problem we had here was that it just wasn't stable enough to hold the keyboard at high angles. After deeply exploring the realm of these new concepts, we found our way back to our original concept featured on the original race. Original gangster. Anyway, using everything we've learned from the other designs and the original concept, we've focused on developing the original concept even further. But this time, instead of one rod on each tenting leg, we had two. This enabled users to select from 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 45 to 60 degrees. It was sturdy since the angle selector found in the base of the keyboard acted as a blocker to hold the rod in place. We implemented side legs to stabilize the keyboard when tenting or tilting is used. But more than that, we adapted the underside of the keyboard to ensure that the tenting and tilting legs can be integrated underneath. This meant completely changing the structure of the base and the PCB designs. And this is exactly what we did with our columnar keyboard, the Dygma Defy. We also made a video about its development here. But now we had another challenge ahead. Implement the same concept onto the Race 2. I know what you're thinking. Can't we just take the Defy tenting and tilting legs and stick them on the Race 2? I mean, it already worked, right? The concept was reliable. It's like a triangle. You simply create a different triangle every time. But the problem was finding the correct calculation for all of them, for all of the different angles. Take a look at the Dygma race. Look at its shape. Can you see that each half isn't symmetrical? This throws a whole new spanner into the works. If we were to just do with the Race 2 what we did with the Defy, you'd have different heights of each half, making the tented keyboard look more like the twins movie poster.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother.
So in order to create an even tenting level, we had to complete two different calculations and essentially build the same but different mechanism twice.
Same, but different. But still same.
How did we do it? First, we calculated the height of the left side for every angle. Given the height of the left side, we then matched the right side's height and then calculated the angle. That way, when the keyboard is tented, both sides have the same height, even though the angles were a little bit different. Great, job done. Let's go home. Wait a minute, what about negative tilting? Well, that was a bit easier. Since each keyboard half has the same length, we could use the same designs for both. But if we wanted to reach our stretch goal, which is having tenting and reverse tilting at the same time, well, then that's when things get a bit messy. Going back to the fact that the right side is wider than the left, we discovered that when adding tenting to the reverse tilting, the keyboard would somehow wobble. All 4 points didn't touch the plane. Muy mal. So we had to go back to the drawing book and recalculate everything. This meant that we had to again adjust the tenting legs, change their angles until we were able to find the angles that allowed all the legs to be flat on the plane when combining tenting and reverse tilting. Fortunately, we only needed to adjust 2 tenting legs. This is because for the combined reverse tilting and tenting, we only offer 2 positions: tilting of 10 degrees and tenting of 15 degrees, and tilting of 10 degrees and tenting of 25 degrees. After a lot of trial and error of millimetric adjustments, we were able to find the right calculation and were able to get a flat plane for both sides for all angles: tenting, tilting, and combined. Great! We solved our first, second, and fourth goal. But what about the third one? How did we ensure its stability and durability? As I mentioned before, the previous tenting kit of the race was made of steel. And although steel is really strong, like me, so carny, it's also heavy. So we decided to go with a strong yet flexible metal, aluminum. Since it requires a lower temperature for melting, it's easier to mold into the shapes that we want. The tenting legs are the ones made of aluminum. Then the tenting rods are made of ABS plastic, and the side legs and reverse tilting legs are made of double shot ABS plastic and rubber. Given that we are dealing with millimetric adjustments, there can always be some inconsistencies, but that's where the elasticity of the aluminum and of the rubber feet come into play. So in terms of its development, where are we now? Well, right now we are in Valencia, Spain, and it's Fallas, where everybody is throwing firecrackers on the streets, and if you hear any explosions throughout this video, I'm sorry, it's not my fault, it's their fault. Right now, we're doing the design validation test. We've given the designs to our suppliers so they can manufacture them and so we can validate them. I said suppliers because there are actually 3 factories that are responsible for the tenting and tilting components. One supplier makes the aluminum tenting legs, another supplier makes the plastic tenting rods, and another one makes the side legs and reverse tilting legs, which are double shot in both plastic and rubber. As you can imagine, it's a complicated process with a lot of ups and downs, and every little change can affect the different parts. We're hoping that with the design validation units, we can make the necessary adjustments to ensure that everything fits correctly. Fingers crossed, all our calculations are correct, and if not, well, it'll be back to the drawing book and you can expect another video from us in the future. We hope you enjoyed this development video, and if you did, please give it a like. If you didn't, comment below why. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can again be together forever.
Too shy, too shy.